I was trying to add an event, so we can look at it later, but uh when I think I put the title in and then I moved it down and all of a sudden
You got
all
an error.
well no, I mean everything started jumping and it had something about committees and it was just like the whole page was jumping. So I don't know if it was me, but well we can look at it later.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure. There was an issue with adding events, but that should be resolved now.
Oh, you mean there was an issue?
There was an issue. So
Oh, you mean like within the last 15-20 minutes?
I don't know. I mean, yes, recently, but in the last 15, 20 minutes, I did go ahead and uh, update the format, the date and time format. That's what was causing an issue for
Oh, because that's
folks.
okay. Well, so maybe when I went in to put the date, then
Mhm.
I started getting all these funny things.
Possibly, but
Maybe.
what it usually does, and I'm not able to recreate it. But let me see if I have a screenshot still. No, I don't think so. But what was essentially happening, well, let me start even further back. So, a few weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago by now, there was an issue, more like it just didn't look good. When you would add an event and check the box for all day, what would happen is instead of it displaying the words all day, it started displaying the start time was at midnight of that day and then
Mhm.
ended at 11:45 p.m. of that same day, which is, I guess, correct, but it definitely didn't look good. So now we have, and I'll just quickly add it so we can take a look at it. The tech team has gone ahead. Oh, it is still causing a format issue. Okay.
But for
Well,
me, it was like I said, everything was jumping. There were some of this junk, this wording, everything was jumping up and down. So I don't know.
hmm.
It was really weird. We
Yeah,
can,
I'm not
yeah,
sure. Yeah, and maybe at the end of this
yeah, right.
session, we
Yes,
can
yes, yes.
maybe have you share your screen too if
Sure, sure, sure.
it's particular to you. But yeah, okay, then I guess the error is still continuing. I will have to escalate this to the tech team because there isn't anything that you are doing incorrectly here. By default, we know that when you choose a date, the monthly calendar pops up for us to pick one. And
Hmm.
then with the time, you have to kind of filter with your up and down arrows.
Right.
So you're doing everything correctly to enter in the information there. It is for some reason, the system is not liking the format. Oh, okay. No, now I realize I selected all day. So I think I might have messed up what the tech team fixed there.
Oh,
So I'll make a note to them, but at least that tells me if you have selected an event date and time, not including all day, and if you choose a show end or an end date and time, I guess I should put it later, that it should save without error. So I'll test that as well. Okay, yeah. So unfortunately, the all day has stopped working, and I think that might be because of what I tried to do to resolve the other issue. Let's try it again.
I don't think I've ever used that all day.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
not always that you have an all day event. So all day with showing the end date works, but that's kind of redundant. So let me try one more time, saving it as just an all day event. Okay. I don't know why the error at the
Oh, well, that
beginning.
looks nice. Yeah.
I will have to do some further testing. Um, but definitely, yeah, if anybody else is having issues like I saw, I'd love to know and we can just take note of those because it should be working without issue now.
What would be nice too, though, if you were just maybe not putting it on the front page, but like just in the calendar, and you just wanted basically it was save the date, and you don't know what time it's going to start.
Mm.
Yeah. So typically if it's something that I know has happened before, I'll look a year, year ago on the calendar and see what time it started and just stick it in there and, figuring, well, it won't be that far off till
Gotcha.
I know better.
Yeah, I think we have that as a possible
Right.
ticket.
I know it's come up before, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that was definitely the major item, most pressing, especially since it popped up today. But we can jump into anybody's questions that you have here. I also have questions from email that I could go over. Okay, I'll go ahead and jump into my email. I thought I might as well kill two birds with one stone and send these clips to who asked the email or the question in the email. So, all right, we got a question. I do see in chat. Okay, needing to get the giant donate button off of your page. Unfortunately, that is part of the theme, and I'm assuming you're referring to the red and blue theme. Let me just pop over to one of those. Yeah, so the only other option is the purple and gold theme. And that as well does have donate and join buttons. But that purple and gold theme does offer us a little more flexibility in customizing the buttons that are in the header.
We would not want to do that because all of our printed materials are in the red, white, and blue. I've seen other leagues on MyLO without that horrible button. It is so trashy looking, no matter what you do to dress up your page. And I mean, on our page, it is gigantic.
It is part of the theme, so there isn't any red and blue themed site that isn't using it. That is the only red and blue theme we
So
do
they must
offer.
not be on MyLO then. They've just used the
Right.
same themes.
Mhm.
Huh.
Well, let's see how it looks on your site. I wonder how ugly it really
It's,
is.
I mean, it's
It's
would
the
like to
same
see-
button as here. It is a global theme, so it's not going to be any bigger if we visit her site.
yeah, if you share my screen, you'll see that it looks like if you were to press it, you'd hear "Auga." I mean, it is just so
Let's
unprofessional.
look. Yeah, let's
And
look.
what is your league?
Pulaski County.
Yeah, it's going to be the same size as far as what we just saw.
It's not even centered. I mean,
That is centered to the menu. But we have taken your suggestion down, or feature request to update that button. It's just part of the theme. And you can have it direct to, say whatever you want it to say as if you're not looking to accept donations. But it does unfortunately live
we
on.
do want, we have a donate link at the top and up in the menu as well. It's just, yeah, I
Show me
just
your
wanted
face.
something much more professional looking than that button.
Hey, Maurice, are you sharing anything?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it not showing up?
It's showing.
It's there. That's our
that's-
page. That's our homepage.
Yeah.
What's the
That's
top?
weird. I'm only seeing the people. Huh.
What's the
Oh,
top? I don't see the top. Are you scrolling to the top?
Do you want to
There we
click
go.
on three little buttons?
I'm looking for the three little buttons.
In the upper right-hand corner of the
Oh,
people.
the view. Yeah, there's the
View,
view.
yeah. What-
So I've got gallery view, but usually when someone shares, then
It
Then
usually does go
now it puts
automatically.
it to the right. Let me change it back and forth and see if anything changes. Sorry.
I can also try stopping the share and restarting it.
Yeah, if you're sharing, I'm not seeing it.
let me go ahead and try that real quick. So I'm going to stop the share and then let's try again.
Please share with me, Addie.
Yes, now I'm seeing it.
Okay.
That's weird.
Where
Never
is
had
it?
that happen before.
What, is there supposed to be a donate at the top? I don't see anything.
No, I had
Oh.
just scrolled to the top to show that my
Oh.
screen was sharing to move it.
Oh. Maybe,
But there's,
maybe if you centered the vote 411, it wouldn't be so, because it's off to the side and your donate is actually centered, you could center that and it might look a little better.
Evidently, there's nothing I can do about those two things. They're embedded and they're out of my control.
No, you can, this widget, the Vote 411 widget was not embedded by MyLO, so you can add center tags. I can go ahead and do that.
I agree with that suggestion.
You go ahead and masquerade as you. Linda, is your username just your full name?
It's my email address.
Well, there, she found it.
Is this possibly you? Your first and last name there?
That's me, but that's not my username. I just use my email address.
All right, then what is
I'm gonna
that?
still be able to find it.
It should work because it's shown up.
I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, I see that in my sidebar,
yeah, that is-
everything is big. I've got vote 411, it's big, whereas my ballot is big. I think it almost like goes to the width. They're bigger than the donate button, that's for sure.
All right, so for the Vote 411 thing, the widget, I'm gonna go ahead and add these center tags. Just make sure I close it out by adding that slash, but that should center it there. A quick note. And I will publish that so that we can see the centering straight away in the sidebar. And there we go.
Oh, that looks much better.
But yes, we definitely do have a ticket in. It's just, unfortunately, other things continue to come up as priority. But the donate button suggestion to change that style up, I do have that as a ticket for our team.
Well, I
You
don't
know,
know. that
If they
other-
could even just take the red out of it and make the font black so that it, you know what I mean? It would not have that big red circle around it.
I'm not sure everybody finds it so ugly.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't-
I've never had
Well,
a
I
problem
do.
with it.
As a website designer, that I would never
Oh.
in a million years put anything like that on my website, ever. It's not professional looking at all.
Huh.
Fully understood. I believe I heard you.
Yeah. So if it's too hard to change the size, maybe to just change the font and background color.
It's not a matter of difficulty, it's just a matter of priority of tickets and just the amount of time that our tech team is allowed. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, unfortunately, it's not a quick response we can make, but we definitely have it.
What would happen if she just put the vote 411 thing first? Would it make any difference?
I don't
No.
think you can.
The donate button is part of the theme, so
No, I
it's
meant it
invisible
just,
to us.
I mean, I'm just saying, because you wouldn't see that first. I mean, I don't know.
No, but you
It
can't.
technically is there first, so the
Okay,
donate button
got
is
it.
part of the theme.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. All right, any other questions?
Well, that's interesting. Maybe she should be going to the purple theme. I don't even have that button on mine.
Yeah,
and
but it
The
was
purple-
the fact that their print materials would match that theme of the red and blue. So definitely understand that.
Well, it mustn't be so ugly on their print materials.
Oh, I doubt it. Yeah, have more flexibility there. All right, so if there aren't any other questions, or did I hear somebody was gonna jump in?
Well, at some point I want to show you mine, but I can do it at the end.
Yeah,
Well, Maddie had something, maybe that got answered in the,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
we did, but yeah, Maddie, if you wanted to talk a little bit more about it, I wasn't sure if I answered.
Yeah, so I just saw right before I logged on. Always takes a day before my email downloads. Yeah, primarily, last time I was driving, so I couldn't see what was going on. I could just hear you guys. And one of the things that I had been interested in doing was create a page on our website for each of the committees, and then the committee chairs could manage those pages. So that was a thought that had been rolling around for a while. So when I heard you guys talking about committee pages, I thought maybe I could use those. But it looked like when I went to try to do that, that's not how those committee pages work. For one thing, they basically display the things that are tagged with that committee name.
Mhm.
And in addition, and I didn't expect this, but you can always ask, that I would be able to like manage each committee chairs access so that they could only access their own page. But that apparently is also not a thing we can do. So it's kind of like, okay, it was a nice idea, but what I'll probably do is just create a normal page and then have them send me their updates.
Yeah, it is a nice feature to have, but I totally understand that. If you are a one-person webmaster team, then it is almost like making more work for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as the functionality goes, you had it right, where any content can be related to that committee and vice versa.
Yeah, and the content that you would relate, would that be like events or articles or?
Yeah, it can virtually be anything. But yeah, that's the idea. If you have articles or events or even pages that are related to that, you definitely want to have them listed there. I think the only content type that you can't relate to a committee is a slideshow item. So anything else you create, you can relate it to that committee.
Right, but again, it would have to be the webmaster or someone with admin access
To
that
be
would
able to
have
do
to
that.
do
you
it.
can't be an editor? I thought you could be an editor.
No, within a league, the webmaster is the editor, and that is the only role beyond just a regular member.
Now, Maurice has more power than we do. But,
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
then
you're
that's
like
the
a
additional
super
role.
admin,
Mhm,
but right. So,
What
but we
kind
can.
of, but what kind of things did you want to do? I mean, could you use a Google Drive where you can really control the permissions granularly? I mean, is it just for the committee members or is it for the whole?
The idea was that people coming to our website, if they wanted to know more about a particular committee and what they were up to and what they did and
Got it.
what they have done, that they could just go there.
I see.
And I've already got all the, like the committee chairs listed on our, about page, or I guess it's on our board member page. And if I could like have someone click and then go to the page where they explain what they do and stuff like that. It's probably not that dynamic, I mean, I suppose there could be like a page that describes their mission and things like that, and then has contact information,
Yeah. If you wanted to set it up as a page where you don't have to constantly update it, that might be the best. And then maybe if in the way that you post your events, maybe you just have tags that you add to that event that are whatever the name of the committee is.
Right.
That might be easier, and I can show that off real quick. I won't actually add an event to your site, Linda, but I just want to show the add event page here.
Yeah. So I do have a question then, on the committee page. Can you, excuse me, I haven't talked to anyone all day, so my voice is a little bad. can you have like text and, you know, all the usual page stuff on that committee page? Or does it only show things that are associated with it?
No, yeah, it has all the same, as far as the body area
Mhm.
and then body with embed code section, if you need to add more paragraph boxes, it has all that. It also has the contact info section, so that you can list a committee contact.
Okay.
So yeah, you can have it essentially work as a typical page, and it grows as long as you add more and more content to the body area.
Okay, so it probably does then make sense to use that committee page because it acts like a normal page, but then in addition, it would display anything that was tagged with that committee. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Like stuff goes to the front page. If we want it to go to the front page, would it look like that?
Yes, it would look like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
And I can show one real quick. So yeah, as far as it behaving like a normal page, it definitely does. If you don't have any content related to that committee yet, then it just really does look like a typical page. The moment you relate a content item to it, that's when that list underneath it will appear where it says all posts related to this committee.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So it still makes sense to use it. Like I can do it the way I was originally intending, and then I get that additional benefit. And
Yeah.
also the fact that it's got contact information on it, I can put the committee chairs in there.
Yeah, it definitely has all of that, and it allows you to not use that related posts until you're ready. So
Gotcha. Thank you.
definitely.
Okay, so on following up on that, maybe, we don't have very much on committees, but how would committees be different from issues?
Well, as
Go ahead.
as far as the site works, we aren't able to assign issues directly to a league. So the way that we can, I guess I could just use this page. The way we can relate issues is typically through the content. But the difference is that, and I actually have a related issue and a related committee, so we can test them both. So the committee is one that you create. I mean, yes, you can relate it to a committee that another league has created, but it is a league created item. The issues that you can relate are MyLO created. So we take these from the National League, and some are from the California League, and that's where we built this list of issues. So on the page that I just clicked on, that is the related issue, it will not only show your league stuff that's you have related to the issue of voting rights, but any other league that has related to this issue. So that's the biggest difference between relating to a committee versus relating to an issue.
Okay, that helps. I'll have to digest that a bit. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it might help, poking around with it, adding issues to different stuff and seeing what comes up when you click through it. So both of these, whether you're relating to
I
a
see
committee.
that issues of focus, so that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what the issue is, because I think I just chose voting rights and that is an issue of focus. But if I chose a smaller one, let's say individual liberties, the page that describes that issue may look different between as opposed to what voting rights looks like. Yeah, so it doesn't have that issue of focus button, but it does describe the issue. And then again, it has this list of all of the leagues on MyLO who have related their content to the issue of individual liberties.
Okay.
And in this, the issues and the committees are a tag. Aside from those two tags, we also have just general tags that you can have the freedom to assign whatever tag you want it to be. And a tag is like a phrase or a word that is related to your content. And what these tags do, as we see with these examples, they create a separate page on MyLO, and then other leagues on MyLO are able to relate their content to that tag as well. So let's see, I can't remember if regular pages offer you the tags. Events definitely allow you to add tags. Okay, yeah, tags are specific to events, but they work exactly the same as relating an issue or relating a committee. When you add your own tag to an event, it would add a link to the bottom of your page where folks can click on that link, and then they would reach a page just like this that would say what the tag name is at the top. And then if any other leagues relate to that content, we'll see a full list of all that stuff.
Do those tags also have any impact on the search engines?
Yeah, they definitely spread your content further. So having more links back to your content is going to boost your SEO, and it's going to obviously have your content on more than just one page. Well, not all of the content, but at least the points to it. So it definitely makes it a little bit more popular. There's just a little bit more traffic related to that content.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so that's the best argument yet I've heard for that. Yeah, okay.
And I see Mary Jo's hand up.
So when you talked about contact information, it reminded me that the other day I don't know if it was an event or an article, but when I was, proofreading it and looking at it, it had my contact information on it. So I don't know if I accidentally clicked something.
Oh, no.
It never has happened, at least that I've noticed.
What I always do, let me go ahead and go to an add event page. What I'm assuming happened in your situation is that your browser has your address saved, and with one click, it can be very easy to drop in an address. So what I do, I actually keep my
Excuse me, that's not where I'm talking about the contact information though. I'm talking
their
about
contact info.
contact info. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
my name showed up with my email.
So similar idea. The browser does remember and can identify if it's a field that's asking for a phone number, a name, or
Yeah,
or
okay.
address, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So if you by chance clicked the browser autofill option, then your information could have dropped in. If you do have your personal information saved there. What I do here with my Chrome browser, I just keep the league's address there, and I just resort to manually typing my personal address whenever I need it, because mostly I do it so that it's not popping up every time I'm doing a MyLO office hours, but then it also helps me to avoid accidentally clicking and adding that. So maybe it is your browser's autofill.
I don't know, because I stopped a lot of stuff before when I was having issues, but anyway, that's the first time that happened. So just a reminder that, to double check not only the wording and stuff, but make sure my contact information isn't there.
Right. Yeah. I don't think you want everybody reaching out to you about it.
You need to fine tune your AI.
Yeah, that AI keeps trying to make me do stuff I don't want to do. I'm a little annoyed with it, I have to say.
All right. Any other questions?
I know I have one in my basket, but I haven't been through my basket yet. So in 2 weeks.
Okay, I do have one here. It is about creating the page needed for league in action. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but essentially what is needed is a page on their website where they can collect a mobile opt-in, including an option for, or including opt-in language. So like if you want to participate type stuff, checkbox, and links to the privacy policy page. And I was provided an example here that I'll open. All right, very straightforward. They are obviously in need of a web form, and we can very easily add all these different options. So I'll go ahead with our demo site here. So I would start off with add a web form. When you need web form capabilities on a content item, you can add a web form. You could also add a page or an event. Those both, in addition to a web form, offer you form capabilities. So I will just title it mobile opt-in. And again, the description is optional here. I'll leave it blank for now. The benefit of adding a web form instead of a page or event when you want to add form capabilities is that the web form offers you a section to add content below the form. So you would be able to add anything you want under the submit button. That's the biggest benefit there.
Can you repeat what we're doing? Because doesn't League in Action have its own page for people to subscribe?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but
It's
this was the question. And so since they're looking like they are in need of a web form, I'm just going to provide the steps. I'm not sure what they need it for, and that's kind of their business. I'm not sure. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the actual description and all that blank. We're just going to move straight to the web form. So again, since we're just recreating this other form, we'll start with some text fields for these 4 different items. So first, name, and it's going to be a text field. I'm assuming we'll need pretty much everything required, first name, last name, email, and mobile number. So I'm going to check the box to require all of them. For, you know, straightforward questions like this, where you're asking someone's name or their email, you can usually skip the description. You can usually skip really any of these other options. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and save. But the good thing about the web form options, they're pretty self-explanatory. So they do a good job of describing what the option is. So again, I'm going to do the same thing where I add a text field for last name and make it required and scroll to save. All right, and next is email. This time, I'm not going to do text field because we have one specifically for email. The biggest benefit of using this form component type is that it will allow you to use the emails, the confirmation email section to send it to the form filler. So we add email, and again, we require that. Another thing to note about the email form component type is that it offers, well, all of the form components types do ask if you want to provide a default value. But the main difference with the email type is that it will ask you if you want to use the user email as default. So if somebody's logged in, their email will be filled in. So the site will essentially recognize them. And then again, I'm going to go ahead to the bottom and save, since I don't need to make any more changes there. And then lastly, we have mobile number for the text field. And this one, we are going to go back to text field. We do have a form component type for number, but that will, it's usually for something simply numeric. So if you need like a monetary value, or phone numbers are usually not presented in the best format when you choose number as the type, because it will try and add either decimals or commas. It won't recognize the dashes that phone numbers usually use. So I just opt for text field on that one. And again, we require. And again, I'm going to add, well, actually, one thing I guess that you could do here, if you wanted to provide a maximum and minimum length, you can. I think this was something that we had talked about in another session where you want to make sure you're not restricting them too much when you add that minimum length or maximum length. I guess both could be restrictive. All right. And so, and also to note, I added 14 because then you want to take into account if anybody's using dashes and parentheses. All right. And then the last one is going to be this question. Do you agree to receive text message updates? Oops. Page. So what I'm going to do is just add that as my label, the question that I want asked of this person. And the type is going to be select options. So select options, even though we're going to have just one sole option. So we add that. And options is what we want to jump to here. So obviously we have just the I agree as the option. See if I can, that's fine. I will just put I agree. So that's the option. When it comes to writing or typing out your options, there's some instructions here under the text area that say key value pairs must be specified as safe _ key vertical bar, some readable option. So the way I construct my key value pairs or my options is by typing out the some readable option first. So I start with the right side and I put what I want the public to see when they see this question. And then from there going left, I add the vertical bar. And then now I'm left with needing to add my safe key. And the safe key is how the site will recognize this specific option. So the safe key or this key value pair, the way that it is asked to be written up is most helpful in tokens whenever you're using tokens. And tokens are, they're a stand-in for a variable. You can have tokens, and they actually are used on your emails. So when you send a confirmation email, tokens are used to represent the values that the form filler provided. And those tokens are dynamic and change with every different response. So the system requires that we have the safe key so that the system can recognize this particular option within that token. All that to say is that you are required to have a safe key, but it doesn't have to be anything complicated. You can simply repeat what you have, just make sure any spaces are replaced with an underscore. Or you could have a simple system, an A, a 1, a 2, 3, whatever. As long as you have an alphanumeric entry there, or with underscores if need be. So I'm just going to leave it as a 1. What I also like to do, and it is totally optional, if I check the box for multiple, what it will do is give me a checkbox like we see here. By default, it is a bubble. And so that's very similar to this one, where you fill in the bubble and say, oh no, I don't want to agree. It doesn't give you another option. So that's totally optional to either leave it as the bubble, or if I choose multiple, then it shows up as a checkbox. All right.
So Maurice, the safe keys, are they unique within the form?
They are unique within the form component. So if I have multiple select options types within one form, I could reuse 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 as my safe key.
Okay.
Good question. What it ends up doing, the option ends up being tacked on to the end of a form key. So if we were trying to build out the entire token to specify this particular option, then we would have, I can't remember the exact taxonomy for this. It's submission, I believe, values, and then we would have the form component. That's how we identify the form component. And then this is specifically that option. Obviously, since we only have one option, it's kind of redundant. That would be the same as this, whether we have the one specified or not. But the more options you have within a form component, then obviously that becomes handy and really will narrow it down to that specific option. But we typically don't use tokens like that where you have to create them yourself, or, you know, we just have them pre-built in the emails, and usually we leave it at that. But that's a little information you might not have needed, but there it is.
Good to know.
There you go. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna have it show up as a checkbox. And again, I'm just going to save that component without making any other changes. And then the last bit that they have is the kind of disclaimer, the link to the privacy policy. I'll just copy the beginning and I'll put ... So there's two ways about this. We saw that we can add content below the form. I'll show both. So one way that you can add, and I'm just adding a label here, it won't actually show up because the markup form component type, what that offers you is essentially a WYSIWYG text box. You can switch it to HTML if need be, but it's a way to add text or images, whatever formatted content you want in the middle of a form. So if we add this here, the benefit is that it will show up before the submit button. If we were to add the content instead here, then it will show up under the submit button. So that is really just based on choice. I'll go ahead and add it to the form so we can see what that looks like. And again, when it's markup type, the label will not show, so you can have it be descriptive. So I said I was going to add that text, and then let's format it a little bit. All right, so added a little notice, centered it. You can choose to have it be shown on the viewed submission as well, which I think would also apply to the email. I'll leave it as form only. And now that is the basic setup of that type of form, trying to mimic this one here. Any questions? Okay.
So League in Action, I'm just looking it up. So that's the outreach circle.
Right.
But I thought, doesn't your league have to belong to the outreach circle for people to use it? I'm not familiar with it. Because looking on my phone, it almost looks like anybody in the world can sign up for it, but
Yeah, it may be something specific to that league. I mean, it's, you know, League in Action, maybe they,
no, there is a national program and
I know there's a national one, but I mean, this may be something specific to that.
relational organizing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult to say because they didn't give a full explanation as to what the purpose of the form is, but since the question was asked, I wanted to answer it.
Yeah, and besides, you know, I mean, I'm hoping they're not soliciting for candidates, getting league members to volunteer for candidates. So, I mean, that's what the form was for. Someone's,
Yeah, but that was a different form. it says on the League in Action by Outreach Circle is
Oh,
a
I know
digital
that.
platform.
That's why I'm saying it's like one's national, one may be local. Who
Well,
knows?
it's meant, somebody was asking about it, whether it's for anybody to do. Anybody who believes in our mission can directly connect and take action on issues impacting their communities. So that's an answer to that question.
Well, I'm gonna try it, but I thought you had to have the league set up for it, but that's beside the point.
Well, I mean, you just use your phone to join it. But we don't know what is motivating this person because it's meant to be done on your phone, and that you could just tell them to go onto your phone to find to sign up.
If they're actually talking about the national.
Right.
Or do
I'm not sure exactly what the purpose of the form is.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have mentioned League in Action. Because again, I'm not sure what their purpose is of the form.
Right, and as I said, when I first saw the form, I'm going, that's for someone's campaign.
Is that what they sent to you?
Okay.
I think it's just an example to show the actual form.
Yeah.
The content is irrelevant.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, that's what I was going from, but I mean, who
Us as
knows?
league members, it is like, oh, I get that.
So I don't think we should pay too much attention to League in Action or
No, I
what
was just curious.
And I'll also, if it's helpful to the person who asked the question, I can include a link to the League in Action stuff. But yeah, I will see.
Yeah, I have the app on my phone, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but it just gives a bunch of actions in different geographic locations, but it looks like
Oh.
it's all managed by Outreach Circle.
Yeah, that's what my thought.
Yeah, who knows if this league is maybe trying to start their own in their area. I'm not sure at all. Or if the National League offers a way to just, see a portal for your area. I'm not sure.
It does make you wonder if they can monitor if people are getting into it that are like sending the opposite message of what the league is suggesting.
Well, maybe you just send the one that's there, and they're only.
Now,
and those
maybe so that they increase the volume of that particular communication. Yeah, I haven't actually done it. I've had it on my phone for a while. I guess I should.
Well, we had a state convention where people were introduced to it.
Mhm.
I guess I have one other small thing. It doesn't require too much demonstration. But let's see if maybe I can at least recreate it. So I did also get another question of a league reporting their calendar missing. When they visit their calendar, they're immediately redirected to another place. So the calendar, as well as with our action alerts, the articles page, the positions page, and members only, they all end with the same URL ending. Well, not exactly the same as each other, but speaking across all MyLO sites. So we have the same way of writing out these URLs. So when one ends up missing, what typically has happened is that someone in that league has created a page with this same exact name. So we know that the URLs in MyLO are dictated by the title of content. The content item that you title calendar is going to then assume the URL that ends in /calendar. So that is likely what happened in this league's case. So I'm going to try and recreate that. So I just want to make sure I have the calendar page open in another tab so we can jump back to it after I do what I'm doing. Okay, so we recognize this as being a typical, like the default calendar that's provided by MyLO. It has the edit your league's headers section, and then it has that default message when there are no events and the view past events button. Let me go ahead and create this page. I've titled it calendar. And just for this demo, I'm going to skip everything else that's not necessary. And choose my league. So let's try this, sending it straight to published. So now we see the URL is exactly the same as the default calendar's URL. So when we come back to this page, when I refresh, we're seeing now the new page. So it's essentially taken over and it has replaced that calendar. That default calendar still exists. It is just not able to be reached by this URL. And then what ends up happening if you rename this, and again, I'm just going to jump to the very bottom and publish. So once you rename it, then it also updates your URL. And let's try and visit the calendar URL again. Our system by default creates that redirect in the background from /calendar to /LWVC-calendar. So every time we change a page title, the redirect in the background gets created automatically. So we get further and further away from that URL showing our default calendar. So in these cases, the MyLO team does need to come in and essentially wipe the slate clean on those redirects. We can make it so that the calendar URL would no longer be leading to this new page. And then that is when it should free up the URL for our default calendar to show up once again.
You can't just delete that page.
I haven't actually tried that. Yeah, let's try that. Make sure, yeah.
Of course, it might be cached, but
Right, yeah, I'm not sure what the system does in the back end to those redirects. Oh, good thinking, Liz. Yes, that does do it as well. If you're at the stage where you can delete that content, then yes, that is the way to do it. I guess the other way thinking of that as well is I could have also cloned that page, kept the clone, and then deleted the original. The clone should not have a redirect created in the back end. So I guess that would be one way if you did it without the MyLO team's help, then and you're trying to keep the content, then clone it and then you can delete the original, or just delete the original and it will show back up. There you go.
Well,
It's good to know.
while you were doing this, I was thinking about, just adding stuff. And oh, I completely forgot the question. Oh my God, I completely forgot the question.
Was it anything about the calendar or any of those related pages?
Oh my God. Oh, I know what it is. So so it's either, yeah, I know. So usually I'm doing a calendar or an article.
Mhm.
So sometimes, you're spending your time putting this event and then, something happens, you get pulled away or whatever. And, or maybe I accidentally do something. Anyway, it's not saved because I didn't save it. Is it anywhere like in, temporary somewhere where I can find it? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, unfortunately not. Like
Okay.
maybe an auto save or something before you save it.
Well, even just, on a different, okay, but you've answered my question. I actually feel better.
If
I was
ever
like-
though, I think the back button sometimes works.
Oh,
So let's try it actually. I'm gonna throw some text into this page. And it'll give us a chance to test this event again. I use a cheese lorem ipsum to make my lorem ipsum a little fun. Okay. So let's try it with that. Wait,
see, I
No.
haven't done any of that yet.
oh, whoops.
And
And I'm
then-
sorry, wait, repeat your question because now
Well,
I'm blanking.
I'm working on something and I don't go down and save it
Gotcha. Okay.
and I
Yes.
lose it. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So I just wanted to make sure I had some things filled out. Obviously, I have some text in the body. We've got the date and time and title filled in. What I'm going to do is just click anywhere else, somewhere that is going to take me away from there. If I go back, my content is still there.
Okay.
So that
Yeah.
that has happened to me too when I'm actually working on like documentation and I accidentally clicked something and I'm like, oh no, and it takes me to somewhere else on MyLO, and I was able to just click back and it saved my most recent changes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Mhm. Any other questions?
I want to see Mary Jo's jump of the screen.
Yeah, we can jump to that. I'll go ahead and stop sharing, and then Mary Jo, if you'd like, can pick up the share. And it should be the green button at the bottom of your
Oh,
Zoom
okay.
bar.
But I'm not, am I open?
It might,
Does
after
it
you
look
click,
like I'm open anywhere? I can't.
no, after you click share screen, it might ask you, like, confirm which screen you want to show. There you go. We're seeing it now.
Well, but now I just see the word Zoom, so that didn't work.
We do see that as well.
Oh.
You need to open up your MyLO browser.
Oh, so you want me to you want me to actually get into it?
Mhm,
Oh,
yeah,
Yes.
you show, demonstrate
Alright.
what you do.
all right. So, okay. Of course, I'm all nervous now, but
Okay, are you, and you're sharing now, you're doing wonderful.
Yeah,
okay, so I'll I guess,
yeah.
well, that was an event, yeah,
Go through the motions.
yeah.
It's so weird. I'm seeing a teeny tiny little screen. There's something going on with my computer.
Okay,
That's
so you can
funny.
see that I started this before because it saved my Michigan environmental policy. Yeah, see what's happening? What's going on?
Oh, my God. Well,
Can
there's
you-
so many positions that,
Can you click your cursor into issues referenced by this event?
I didn't click anything.
Can you try?
Yeah.
Click
Oh,
them
I'm
out.
sorry. So I just stopped it. Oh, kind of stopped it.
But okay, I think what it looks like is there are two lists there, the issues referenced by this event, and then right underneath that is positions. Those two lists, for some reason, the options are just automatically showing up. That's why you had them kind of jumping together, because they're kind of fighting over each other to show up on top. I don't know why that is happening.
It knows what I typed and it knows what issue it would be?
No, it's just something, it seems like something going on with the browser where it's just displaying those options immediately, and I'm not sure why.
It's never happened before.
And it looks like
This
there's
is
like
a
3
very-
different boxes open. See how on the,
Yeah,
Right.
there are.
yeah,
It's the issues and the positions, and I think it's related content or something that is also showing up, or committees that are showing up.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I'm
is this
not
going to continue to
sure.
happen? I mean, I guess I was able to click something and stop it all, but I mean, it's just never happened. It's just really weird.
And you're using Edge, Microsoft Edge?
Yeah, I'm in Chrome. Yeah. No, I'm in Chrome. Oh, no. I'm in the other one, Edge.
Do you
Yeah.
want to test it on Chrome as well while we're here? And see what it looks like there? Because I can mention it to our tech team and see what they might suggest.
Okay. See, all this stuff is, okay.
See where the plus is on the top, Mary Jo? Just open up a new.
Okay, thank you. See, I never use it for, okay. So what are we, lwddh.org? Okay, so let's try it again. Thank
You're
you.
gonna have to log in.
Oh, yeah. Well, oh, okay. Well, that's interesting that it showed up my email. Huh. Oh, well. Okay, so going back to add event.
Mhm.
Okay, finally. Okay. No, oh, of course, it's not going to save it because it's a different, yeah. Okay, well, I'll just put Michigan. Go back to it.
And that's okay. I think regardless of if you enter content, the lists were probably still acting that way.
Okay, so so a date, okay, October 8th, okay, 6 o'clock.
You can just scroll down to those lists.
I think it actually had, well, but that's the point. I don't do anything with those lists. So I
Right, but
think,
I just want to see if they show up like they did in
oh,
the
okay,
other browser.
sorry. I'm thinking it's probably, it would have happened by now and it's not.
Yeah, they're not showing up like they did in the other browser.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see
Huh.
if that's just related to Microsoft Edge.
Wow, thank you.
Um,
Huh.
but I took a note of it because it's worth asking our tech team just to see.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head what could
Yeah.
be happening,
But
but it
thank you.
shouldn't be affecting your content. It's just very annoying, obviously, to have to work with.
Well, yeah, and it had never happened before. Just
Yeah, that's why I don't work with Microsoft Edge. It's has unpredictable stuff. I
yeah,
use,
I guess I
And-
could.
And maybe also, Mary Jo, double check that that browser is up to date. Maybe there's an update that it needs. Just check the about section
Okay.
or the settings.
Yeah, my computer usually shows, okay, it's time to do it, and so I do it, but yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but you're right. Because typically the big things, and of course this is a big thing, I do on Chrome, like
Mhm.
Constant Contact, they want you to use Chrome. And then when I'm looking up stuff, I'm over, on Edge, so yeah, maybe I
Gotcha.
should try to get used to doing that.
Yeah, maybe. At least it will be a bit more reliable. But the functionality is pretty much the same.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, no, thank you for showing me that. I think we were all curious. So now other people know if that is also happening to you, that it's
Right.
not alone, but it also is not messing with your content, which is good.
Yeah, there are definitely differences between the browsers because I remember when I was doing Firefox, I couldn't resize the graphics, but when I went to Edge, I could resize the graphics.
Oh,
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
the biggest thing. So I personally, if I can avoid Firefox, I just don't ever use it for MyLO or really for anything because I know I'm always trying to jump over to MyLO. That is a big pet peeve because being able to resize the image to whatever is a very nice feature to have, to be able to just
For sure.
move it to exactly the size you want. But
now are you saying
Firefox doesn't let you.
but you're saying that Edge does? I guess I've never done that.
Yeah, any
Right.
other browser does.
Where, I mean, at what point are you resizing it?
Like when you add it to the body,
Okay, where it says choose or like main image?
no, when you add it into the body, you can, and I can take
Oh,
back.
into the body of like if you went down further, or if I went down
Mhm,
further,
mhm.
the message. So you're actually it's your second image.
Yeah,
Well, it's
or-
like if you're talking about somebody in the body and you put a
Yeah,
portrait
and
of
I've
them
done
in the
that.
middle. Yeah, that
Oh,
kind
and
of thing.
well, actually, doesn't that show up on the bar somewhere? Because I know you showed us the other night or other week, but maybe not.
I'm not
Or was that-
sure.
Maybe not. Okay, yeah, okay, I didn't, so now within the body, okay, I don't do that too much, but I've done them.
Awesome. Yeah.
Every size of it.
Well, it's there if ever needed. But yeah, it does come in handy.
I do it regularly.
I
It
know,
was
I
very
know,
frustrating when it wouldn't work.
I had a thing from the state, it was a video and it had, click here for the video and it was a graphic, but I wasn't able to save it. I mean, because anytime I touched it, it just went right to the video.
Yeah.
So I guess
Did you
it's,
try right clicking it? That
well,
could have given you a menu of options if you are
well, I
looking
think
at an image.
you mean it would have brought me into my Microsoft's images or
Was it an image that you saw online?
yeah,
that you
yeah,
were
it was
trying to see?
online. And
Yeah,
I
and
was
if you
and
right
I always click it to right click it because it'll say save or
Mhm.
save the picture or whatever. But it just immediately brought me into the video itself. I just had never had that happen before.
Hmm.
It's no big deal.
One thing about resizing images, it's always a good idea to look at it in the phone format as well to see, what that looks like there.
Yeah,
Oh,
good point. And it's always very easy for us to just pick up our phones and look at it there. But if you wanted to ever look at it within, oh, sorry, I forgot I'm not sharing. I'm gonna go ahead and steal it back. I was demonstrating something that you guys couldn't even see. Okay, so if you're in your browser, you will have the option to inspect. So I just right clicked and brought up this menu. When you inspect, you have this option, and I'm in Google Chrome. So in other browsers, the options might be displayed a little differently, but they should have this option to toggle device toolbar. And right now I have it on. This is what it looks like when it's off. It just is really our typical screen or page there. But when I toggle device toolbar on, what it offers me is a list of devices that I can choose from. And I can then see what the site would look like
oh yeah, you showed us that.
in
Yeah.
that type of device. So it isn't exactly perfect to what the device or those with these devices would see, but it is a very, very close rendering of it. And then you can also see what it looks like in landscape, like clicking this little rotate icon. So super handy if you are just trying to, take a quick look without having to fish for your phone.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you
it's
bring up a
also-
good point about using browsers. I know that Chrome, as on PCs, it's on iPads, it's on iPhones. So it goes over a lot of platforms and it has a large user base. So when I develop stuff on that, I have a fairly good idea that it's how it's going to operate on those other platforms. I can't say the same for the other browsers. They don't have that base and they're not that
They're not as
transparent.
universal. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely a good point.
I saw, I thought I saw the whole left menu repeating itself on one of my pages, and I should have paid more attention.
Oh, wow.
That was an issue at one point where we were getting double left items. I don't know whether it was on a phone or a computer. Has anybody seen that?
I do recall it being on a computer. That's where I was seeing it. And this is for sites with the top menu. There was a time where there was an issue of the double menu displaying where folks were getting their typical menu across the top, but then it was also doubling on the left side. I believe that has been resolved, but I can double check your site directly.
Well, I can also try to reproduce it and just send you an email. I thought, oh my God, there it is again.
Yeah, definitely let me know because that should be resolved. And if it is still showing up, it's probably because we have your site's URL entered somewhere or that page's URL. So it should be an easy fix if it's still happening.
Yeah, well, I think I see it on my phone.
Well, on your phone, there isn't going to be a top menu unless you have it landscape. So let's go ahead and do inspect. We see the top menu now. When I hit inspect, whoops, let me go up like this. So this is, we're looking at it through an iPhone 14 Pro. There is no top menu until the menu only shows up at the very, whoops, the very bottom.
Oh, I'm talking about the left menu, the
Oh no.
sidebar. I
That's
have-
when mine shows up on the left bar shows up at the end on the phone.
It's not showing up here in that inspect example. I'm gonna quickly check on my phone, but you're saying it's the
there's-
left-hand side menu when you're in landscape or when you have your phone straight up in portrait mode?
That, I don't want to waste people's, I'll send you some screen grabs.
Okay.
And it's just on my phone that I notice it. It's an iPhone that at the top it says a bunch of choices. And then at the bottom, it shows, it shows another bunch of of choices.
You know what? I just, Amaris, I've
Uh-huh.
never done this before, but I'm looking at it landscape. And in landscape on my phone, it does show the top and the side, just like it does on the computer.
Yeah, mine's good that way. Then when I go portrait,
It's at
I-
the bottom.
yeah, it's,
That's how it is for me. Yeah.
Well, yes, the your site, the Dearborn Heights site is with the menu on the left all the time, right? Then you don't have the top menu across.
Well, actually,
I can check.
uh,
Yeah, it is a left-hand menu. So that
I know
that
it's
makes
left hand, but I
sense.
didn't know, I couldn't remember if we had anything. We got donate and join, yeah. But what I'm saying is, yeah, the left hand, when I'm portrait, like we said, it's at the end. The left hand is on
Right.
the end.
Mhm.
But when I'm in landscape, it's right there. Just
Yeah.
like I just never realized that.
Oh, yeah, no, it's awesome. It is like a mini version of the site when in landscape.
Yeah, I never duh.
But
So
Liz,
did you know that there was also the menu button at the top when you're in portrait?
that is a good one to point out too.
Because that's the one I usually use. I don't scroll to the
Oh,
bottom.
yeah.
I just
Oh,
click on the
menu.
menu button.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So
And that's a good one to know too, because the top menu sites, that's the menu default when you're in portrait mode and on your phone.
Okay.
so at the top of when I'm on a page, if I click the menu one, then it shows the top menu from first, then it shows the page, and then at the bottom, it shows this everything under that item. So
Okay.
instead of the sub menu, but it goes down to the very bottom. So,
That's not how mine works.
well, maybe I'm not describing it right, but if you could,
I would definitely love to see screenshots, but I think I'm seeing now that I've clicked through. Okay. Liz, I think I know what you're talking about. So that might be the typical behavior, because even on the desktop here, so we see your full menu across the top. When you have an item in the menu that has child links or is part of a sub menu, that sub menu is going to show up on the left. And that's what's showing up on the phone as well.
at the bottom.
Yes, so that's typical behavior.
Yeah, but it means that people aren't really getting to the items. You know, they think they're on a page where they have submenus and they're there, but they're way at the bottom.
But the submenus also show up at the top.
No,
When
they-
you click on one of the menu items, which is the top level menu item, it shows the children of that top menu item,
If you click, yeah,
but not the rest of the menu. And then you have to close that top level thing, and then the rest of the menu shows up again. So you don't have to go to the bottom for anything.
I see what you're saying. You're right. That's good. Okay, so that's, and then I go back. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've run across that a few times. It's like, where is it? And it's you just have to know, I guess. It doesn't look like what you're used to seeing.
Yeah, if you're expecting to see exactly what's on the desktop, yeah, it isn't exactly the same. But having the menu link up at the top is hopefully as intuitive as it can be without being obstructive.
Yeah, we're probably too knowledgeable about it, so we have preconceived ideas of how it should be, but a person who doesn't know, they're going to hit the menu and then they're going to, treat it like any other website.
True. Yeah. I see what you're saying there.
Well, and I also think that people who use their phones, a lot of them use their phones only. So
Right.
they don't have any idea what a website,
Exactly.
looks like. So
Yeah.
I think we're doing okay. We just have to plan for both groups.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing. A lot of people just use their phone, especially if they're younger.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's no need to find a desktop at that point usually, but
Exactly.
yeah, we definitely have a good mix of user types.
Yep.
All right, folks. Well, I think that will bring us to the end of today's session. 2 weeks, what will that leave us? The 17th. So we will
So-
see each other again on the 17th. I will definitely be in the Google group before then.
Yeah. So I'll be missing that one.
We'll miss you. We'll miss you then, Maddie, but we'll definitely have it recorded.
Yeah, that's good.
And this was very informative. Thank you.
Thank you all. It's not just me. I need your guys' questions to fuel the sessions too. So
As stupid as they may be.
never stupid, never stupid. I feel like even when folks think that they're asking a stupid question, there will be somebody else, whether it's in the session or when they're watching back the recording, they're like, oh, I didn't know that. So don't ever feel that way.
I don't.
You're just the brave one to say it out
Exactly.
loud.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks so much,
Thank
folks.
you.
As always, we'll see each other.
Thanks, everyone. Good meeting as always.